Hi, I'm Linda.
And I'm Troy, and we are Wines, Pines, and Canines. Recently, we posted a video about our likes and dislikes after a year and a half of ownership of the 19 FBS. Today we thought we'd make a video about why we chose that particular model in the first place.
So if you find yourself with similar questions, please stick around. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please
like and subscribe.
And remember, Desi wants you to hit that notification bell. So today we're going to take you through the 5 steps of us choosing this GeoPro.
Step 1, what were our must-haves? Step 2, how do we narrow our choices?
Step 3, why did we choose the GeoPro? Step 4, why did we do new versus used? And step 5, why do we choose the 19 FBS over the other GeoPro models?
A little over 2 years ago, Linda and I decided we were in the market for a new travel trailer. We were excited, but there were 2 things for me that were first and foremost. Number 1, my truck would only pull 5,200 pounds. In that, I needed to find a travel trailer that was no more than 3,500 pounds dry weight. Secondly, I was only interested in a travel trailer that had aluminum or steel frame and had Asdel siding. That was important to me.
And for me, I did not want a wet bath. So with the space that we wanted inside, we were looking at about 20 feet so we could have that dry bath. In addition, we wanted updated technology. So we were really looking for, at the minimum, solar prepped, but really wanted those installed solar panels.
Yep.
And then the last thing was we wanted something that was unique on the outside, that when you drove into a campground and you saw somebody else that had a camper like yours, it immediately stood out. And so those were kind of the 5 things that we were looking for. So how did we take those 5 things and pick out our choices? So how did we narrow down our choices?
Folks, you have to do the legwork. You're going to have to go to RV shows if you can. You're going to have to read about the models you might be interested in. Find out who sells them. Go to the dealers. Take your time. Get in them. Walk around them. Open up the cabinets. Look at the fit and finish. Look at the way they're put together. That'll narrow it down pretty fast.
Exactly. And then once you've kind of narrowed down to what manufacturers that you like, join some Facebook groups or online forums. Talk to, ask questions of the people there. Are they happy with the campers that they've bought? You're going to find out really quickly if there's just more complaints than there are happy people with certain brands. The Facebook group that we are members of, that's the first thing I did is I joined the GeoPro and the Flagstaff ePro campers group, and people really just love these things. And so that was a deciding factor in us buying this. But so once you narrow it down, and for us, we narrowed it down to the GeoPro ePro lines.
Right.
We narrowed it down to the Apex Nano and the No Boundaries. So once we had those 3, what were the deciding factors for us?
There's a number of features about this camper that I really like on the outside specifically. And they made all the difference in me choosing this camper over a field of competition. Such as these steps back here. They're very stable to use. They're very comfortable. You just flip them up and you flip them down. I like the graphics package. It's different. It's not like everybody else's camper. It's a little edgy, and I kind of like that. I like the fact that it has frameless windows. They're tinted. It just looks nice, and they're easy to use, and it just looks a little different and a little bit more upscale, and I like that. It has a big window on the front of the camper. It's fairly large and lets a lot of light into a small camper and just makes it just that much more airy and nice. I like the knobby tires, of course. That kind of comes automatically, but the rims and the tires are nice. But beyond that, this trailer sits nice and high. That helps me when I'm pulling through the woods or trying to get into something that's a little bit uneven or not paved. It makes me a little bit more comfortable doing that. Also, the fact that this camper is 7 foot wide, that's huge. It doesn't seem like a big deal until you're in tight traffic and you're pulling through an urban environment, and maybe you don't want to do mirror extensions on your truck. Maybe you appreciate the fact that it's a little bit narrower. It helps to move through an urban environment just that much more comfortably. These are the things that made a huge difference with me, and that's why inevitably I chose this camper over a lot of others.
The inside of the GeoPro really sold it for me. I like these light wood cabinets. The other ones that we looked at had the darker wood, and this color just makes it feel so much roomier and lighter inside these campers. Second of all, just the floor plan. The no boundaries would have been our second choice, but it had the fridge over here where the TV is, and it had the TV, I believe, over it. I'm a little quirky where I like my TV, and I like it where it is. So really, that was it. The floor plan, these lighter cabinets, it just felt better to me. And I like the outside graphics package, and I really like those bigger tires. So once we decided on buying the GeoPro, our next decision was, should we buy new or should we buy used? And honestly, a year and a half ago, it was hard enough to find a new GeoPro, let alone a used one. So we decided, to go ahead and buy the new. However, if we'd had used as an option, we would have seriously looked at it. Campers aren't like cars in the fact that when you buy a car, you expect it to run for the first 100,000 miles. That's not true with campers. They are just as likely to break on the first day as they are on the 1000th day, which means you've got to know how to work on these things.
I couldn't agree more. When you own a camper, you're going to have to fix it. It's going to need repairs. The more you know about them, all the processes, all the systems, how they're put together, the more flexible you are about keeping camping as a fun part of your life. I love working on my camper. Actually, I do. I love modding it. I love retrofitting it. I like making it better than it came from the assembly line. That's what I enjoy, and I love doing it. Almost as much as I love camping. And I really love camping.
Exactly. I think you can tell from our videos, we do like messing with it.
Mm-hmm.
But another reason why somebody would want a new versus a used is the warranty.
Right.
And warranties are good for those big items. Your fridge goes out, you're something wrong with your roof, you're spending $1,000, sure. But for the little items, guys, you got to find a dealer that actually cares about repairing the camper. And there's good dealers out there, but there are just as many dealers that are quick to sell you a camper, but they are not quick to repair your camper. You could easily find yourself 2, 3 months without a camper.
Yeah, and then eventually getting disgusted, going to the dealer, hitching onto your trailer, bringing it home, and solving it yourself in just a couple hours and be disgusted about it.
Exactly. I mean, so a warranty for those little items is just not worth it. And two, if you buy a used one, somebody else has had it typically at least for that first year during the warranty, and if something's gone wrong, they've already fixed it and you don't have that hassle. So you really need to look at, for you, which is going to be better, new or used. For us, it would have been used, but again, we couldn't have found one.
Nope. Okay, so we decided to buy the GeoPro. There's a bunch of different models with GeoPro, many that have bunkhouses and different layouts and different things, but there were primarily two models that fit our lifestyle and our needs the best. One's the 19 FD, one's the 19 FBS. The FD having the Murphy bed, the FBS having the queen bed.
Yeah, so, and it's kind of funny because actually this morning I found the spreadsheet that I had done a year and a half ago, kind of comparing these two models to see which one we like.
I believe that.
So we had done kind of a pros and cons. And I think for you, the big thing is you were a little worried about the Murphy bed.
Yeah, I was concerned that the mechanism that made the Murphy bed, with all the gyrations and earthquaking of going down the interstate and highways and back roads of America, that it would not perform well over the long term.
And I will say, in the year and a half we've had this model and looking on the Facebook page and that other people that have owned the FD have not had that problem.
That's
so,
true.
I don't know that really was an issue, but back then we did not know that. So we looked at a few things. The FD actually has a bigger bathroom.
Right.
It has a couch and a dinette, and it weighed less. But for us, the things that really made the decision for us on the FBS were the fact that it has a slide. Now, GeoPros now have an FDS So the FD actually comes with a slide this year, but back then it didn't. So the slide was important to us,
Right.
and the bed. Even with the Murphy bed, it was a full size, and ours is a queen size. And if you've watched our longer video, you see that we actually modded that to be a king size. So that was a big issue for us.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, and I don't even think I mentioned this to you, this was just something quirky with me, is that the TV. So these
Oh yeah.
TVs are only 28 inches. They're kind of small. And in the FD, you sit on the couch at one end, and your TV is up in the corner on the other end. So it's like 15 feet away, and it's up in the corner. And I didn't like that. I wanted to be able to look straight on the TV. So
Yeah.
kind of different, quirky, and sometimes that's what it comes down to. Is you look at these models
Yeah.
and it's just what little weird things that you like when you get
Right.
inside of them.
Yeah. Even something as simple as the kitchen being located in the front or in the back. One is pure chaos to me, where other people like them a lot.
So when you're looking at those models, once again, it's just important to get into them and walk around and
Spend
just
some
sit
time.
and imagine yourself living in them,
Yeah.
and you'll know really once you do those things. So that's why we're in the 19 FPS. But Troy, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
It's a year and a half ago. We have the exact same truck that we had back then,
Right.
and nothing else has changed. Would you rebuy this GeoPro?
Absolutely. I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we really haven't had any trouble with it,
Mhm.
other than a few small things if you watched our longer video.
And
But
that's okay because we like to fix them.
exactly. Um, but let's say we had the truck that we have now, which
Mm.
has a capacity to pull just over 10,000 pounds.
Right.
Would you buy the GeoPro again?
No, would have opted for a model that was about 4 to 5 foot longer, with a bit more features and a bit more room for us to move around in.
Yeah, given the extra tow capacity that we have with the truck, I'm going to have to agree.
Yeah.
Have an extra 4 feet, really. Sometimes we take this thing out and we're out 4 to 6 weeks. So
Yep.
to have that extra 4 feet would be
A lot.
nice. So we don't have any, we're not going to be looking to sell anytime soon in that. But, that's the thing. There is no perfect camper no matter what you do. Um, and for us, even though the day we buy them, we're still on YouTube looking at new ones. So, that's kind of the fun for us for camping and campers. But very happy with the GeoPro. But in the future, we'll probably, maybe a few years from now, look at that 25 footer and give us ourselves a few more feet. But by then, maybe we'll trade trucks in again. I don't know.
Bigger one. We get a bigger truck.
Exactly.
The most important thing is that if you want to get into camping, get into camping. Go do it. Get on the road. You're going to have some bad days when things don't go right. You're going to have some great times.
So coming up, we have a few ideas on some more modifications that we want to do to the GeoPro. So we've ordered some supplies. We'll see how those go, and so hopefully in the next 2 to 4 weeks, maybe we'll have some videos for you on that. But in the meantime, we are switching gears a little bit.
Yeah, we don't always just work and tinker on the camper. Occasionally we use it for its intended purpose. We snatch it down the highway and go to visit places. Recently we went to Williamsburg, Virginia, had a great time. The campground was a good stop. You posted a
Yes,
video
I did
about
post
that,
that video.
and that uh, was fun to make. Also, we got to go to Colonial Williamsburg, Jamestown Colony, Yorktown National Battlefield. It was all right there. It was easy for us to see, and we have some other things going into the new year. Short trips, but we'll try and get them posted for you and hope you enjoy them.